Salams and welcome. Thank you for joining me in part number 8 of this book, Islam in the Media, where we're looking at how the media has, and where there's a shadow organization who is in control of the media, and who are telling us who to love and who to hate. And I'm showing how to combat Islamophobia by showing the true beauty of Islam. I'm not here to condemn anyone. I'm not insulting Christianity. I'm not insulting Hinduism. I'm not insulting Buddhism. I'm not insulting the atheists. I'm not insulting agnostics. The way I understand it, like for example, if I'm running a business, I was running a hospital for many years, a private hospital. So the way to have, because you have competition, there's two ways to have competition. One, you insult the enemy. You show the weakness of the enemy. You tell your customer, no, don't go to that business. That's a terrible business. But that's not ethical. That's not nice. You don't insult another business. That's fair competition. The only way to promote yourself, you must show the good of your business. You mustn't insult your competition. You must say, no, my business has got A, B, C, and D. And if you like what I'm saying, come to my business. Same way with Islam. I'm not here to condemn other religions. I don't condemn other religions. I will just show you the beauty of Islam. Then if you're a Christian, you like it, you come to Islam. If you're a Hindu, you like it, you come. But I'm not going to insult the Christians. I'm not going to insult the Hindus. I'm not going to insult the atheists. I'm not going to insult the agnostics. All that I'm doing, I'm showing the beauty of Islam to try and combat this Islamophobia that's going on around worldwide, as we saw recently in that very tragic, sad attack on the Christian in Germany. The Christmas Eve, where the Saudi person who crashed his car into Christmas shoppers, about 5 or 6 died, more than 200 were injured. Very strange, this thing. And it wasn't headline. They did not say it's terrorism. You know why? Because he was not a Muslim. What I found very strange. Listen to this very carefully. They said a person from Saudi Arabia called Osama bin Laden attacked in 9/11 attacked the World Trade Towers. It became headline news. A person from Saudi Arabia. But now this person is also from Saudi Arabia. He attacked Germany, the Christians on the Christmas shopping, but they did not call it an act of terrorism. Why? Because he said, no, I'm not a Muslim, but he's from Arabia. So these are the double standards of the media. Double standards of the media, right? Similarly, we saw recently, last week in the headline news, another very sad case. So please, I'm just using these examples just to show I'm not criticizing nobody. This I'm relating from the news. We saw it, I think it was in Oklahoma, where the two incidents happened at the same time. Two incidents. I think one was Oklahoma nearby, somewhere in America. Two incidents happened on the same day. And both were involved with, I think, with Elon Musk's Tesla cars. Something, but if I'm wrong, I apologize. But it's something to do where one person came with an automatic Tesla car. He hired it from a certain company. It was not his car. He hired it from a rental agency. He parked his car outside the Trump Hotel, and the car exploded. That is a major problem. Then on another side, there was another fellow who drove into some Christmas shop. It was a New Year's celebration, and some people died, and he was also killed in that process. Now, the person who smashed his car into these people, he was then found to be a United States soldier, I think, who served in Afghanistan, and he was an active veteran. I stand on the correction, but a Muslim. Now, because he's a Muslim, they said this is an act of terrorism. And I agree with it, because you can't go kill innocent people. So because he went smashing the innocent people, and I totally agree that you can't do that. You can't kill innocent people. Islam says if you kill one innocent life, it is as if you have killed the whole of humanity. And if you have saved one Muslim life, as if you have saved the whole of humanity. So I've condemned that action. I agree. Yes, it's wrong. But let's look at the double standards. When this car that exploded outside the Trump Tower, Elon Musk famously said that these two are linked together because it is the same vehicle. And Elon Musk, and there's nothing wrong. Elon Musk is a very intelligent person, and he's now part of the advisory committee of the Trump presidential campaign. And Elon Musk said, investigate this carefully, because I think this bombing of the sky is also a terrorist. That means it's also a Muslim behind it. So what happened? The FBI investigated. You know what they found? They found firstly he's not a Muslim. They found, yes, he's got a bomb in his car. That's why this whole thing exploded. There was a bomb in his car. But thirdly, before he set off the bomb, he shot himself. He committed suicide. He shot himself, and then the bomb exploded. But famously, Elon Musk then said, Elon Musk obviously is an engineer, and he was happy. He said, you saw how powerful my cars are. That guy chose the wrong car. Had he chosen any other car, that Trump Tower there would have been a lot of damage around. But the damage was contained. You know why? Because Elon Musk has designed such a beautiful car that when this bomb exploded in this car, the bomb actually went into the car. It didn't go outside, it imploded, right? So many people were saved. So you know what was this very strange thing? Very strange thing. The FBI had a news report, a new press release the next day. And this guy said, listen to this. If this was a Muslim, they would never have said this. And you know what they said? We've investigated the case. Yes, the person committed suicide and a bomb went off, but we have found out that he was a soldier who was suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder, so the case is now closed. Khalas. Matter is closed. No headline news. But if that person was found to be a Muslim, even if I was a US soldier, you know what they would have said? This person committed suicide and there was a bomb. It's a suicide bombing. This is work of terrorists. Now, even though the person is dead, you know what they then do? They go for the family, they arrest the family, they arrest the friends, they go on Facebook. Oh, this person was communicating with this. That person must be part of ISIS. Then they make a whole mess out of the whole thing. This is called hypocrisy. This is called hypocrisy. And what is the sad thing? While they are now targeting only on the Muslims, meanwhile the other white supremacists, they are becoming more dangerous because they say, you know what, we can do what we want to because the whole focus is on these simple, humble, poor Muslims and they can't do nothing. So then other dangerous organizations are becoming more powerful because the FBI, sadly, is got like a horse. It's only got tunnel vision and they're only looking at Muslims. They only look at Muslims. Now, if they're only looking at Muslims, the other dangerous extremist groups are becoming more powerful and they're becoming more strong, as what they found even in America as well. I think it was last week again in the headline news, but it wasn't headline news. When the news doesn't affect, they put it on page 3. This person had the biggest collection of bombs in the history of the FBI. They found it in a person's farm. What is going on, America? You all are focusing on Muslims unfairly. Muslims who are kind, 99.99% of Muslims are not terrorists. But because of your tunnel vision, and something happens in France, is a Muslim says terrorist. If he's not a Muslim, they say, oh, it's nothing. He just had PTSD. But don't Muslims also have PTSD? Why don't you show the same sympathy to a Muslim that you would show to another person who exploded his car and did a suicide? So when a non-Muslim does a suicide bomb, they say it's PTSD. But when a Muslim does the same thing, they will attack not only that Muslim, even if he's dead, they'll go look for his friends, his relatives, his children, everyone, they'll put them all in jail. They'll torture them and find the truth out of them, whatever that so-called truth is, right? So this is where the double standards of the world is, and that is why the world is in darkness, right? So Malcolm X famously said, human rights are something you were born with. Human rights are your God-given rights. Human rights are the rights that are recognized by all the nations of the world. And Malcolm X further says, the media is the most powerful entity on earth. They have the power to make the innocent people look guilty, and they have the power to make the guilty person look innocent, and that is power because they control the minds of the masses. And Lord Northcliffe from the United Kingdom famously said, journalism is a profession whose business is to explain to others what it itself does not understand. So journalists are trying to explain Islam, who the journalists themselves don't know what is Islam. So there were many times 80% of the journalists are spewing rubbish from their mouth. You know why? They're only worried about the salary. They're not interested in seeking the truth. But yes, there are some good journalists. 20% of journalists are good, but others, they're only interested in their salary. They're not worried about seeking the truth. They say, as long as I get my salary, as long as my boss pats me on the back, I don't care if the Muslims are suffering. They don't care. So journalism is very powerful. I respect journalism. I'm a journalist myself. I love the media. So I'm a media man myself, right? So I have no problem with journalism, but I give the biggest credit and the biggest due to those journalists who work so hard, who are so dedicated in finding the truth. And in seeking the truth, many times they risk to themselves. And that is why it is so sad. Today we see so many journalists in war-torn areas of the world. It is wrong to kill journalists. Why on heavens these journalists are bringing the truth to us? But the enemy don't want us to see the truth. They want to keep your brain in a cage. They want to keep your brain in a cage. If a soldier is killing an innocent civilian, they don't want people to know. Whereas a journalist will take a video and show it to the world and say, but why did you kill that man and woman and the child in that house? They did not harm anyone. Why did you do that? And we are seeing that in so many cases, we're still getting court cases where many soldiers, whether they're war veterans from America or from Australia or from Canada or United Kingdom, they've been shown to show shameful actions. They've been killing people in Afghanistan, poor farmers. They've been killing poor farmers, unarmed farmers. And they're just shooting the entire family and just dropping bombs and just killing them. For what? And now, fortunately, in some cases, the court cases are still going on, but that is a fraction of the reality. So what the people in power, they do when there's a warfare, either they will have their own embedded journalists. Embedded journalists mean they are paying those journalists to say what they want to say. Talking their master's voice. The journalists in those cases are the dogs who are obeying the master who is giving them food. Right? So a journalist in that scenario is a dog who's obeying the master. Those are the embedded journalists. They don't give the truth. They only want that bone for their mouth. They will eat that bone and they will give the biggest lies. And they will tell the world about those lies because they are dogs serving the master. But the honorable journalists, the ones who say we are not going to we are not paid journalists. We want to show the world what is happening. So these honorable journalists, they get a missile. They are being bombed and they're being shot and they're being killed. And then all sorts of excuses are being given as to why they are being killed. So please don't kill the journalists. The world needs to see the truth. But the world, those superpower, that shadow organization wants to keep the world in darkness. Thus, the world is plunged in darkness. And that is why what we are seeing on TV, what we are seeing in the news, and now what we are seeing on cell phones, on social media, it's making our blood go cold. We are seeing such horrific images that we cannot understand that is this a nightmare? Is this a movie? Will I wake up from this nightmare? It is a dystopian nightmare. I cannot believe what my eyes are seeing. I cannot believe the horrors that are being committed in the world. And this is all because of social media. Some people, because of the cell phones, they are quickly taking a photo here and there. Some are dying in the process, but they're getting the message, slowly getting the message out. And slowly the world is coming to understand that what is happening is very, very wrong. Stay well, look after yourself. So ask yourself the question, on which side of the history are you going to be? On which side of the truth are you? Do you want to continue having your brain in a cage? Are you living in a world of darkness? Or do you want to open the Quran and try and understand what the greatest man on the face of the earth, the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, he brought light. He is rahmatul lil alamin. He is a mercy for all mankind. He's not a mercy for the Muslims only. He's a mercy for the Muslims. He's a mercy for the non-Muslims. He's a mercy for the Christians. He used to welcome Christians into his mosque. He's a mercy for everybody. He's a mercy even for the animals. He's a mercy for the environment. He's a mercy for the fish. He is rahmatul lil alamin. Before you die, my appeal to you, my invitation to you, try and get a copy of the biography of the greatest man who walked on the face of the earth. The greatest. Forget what the media is telling you. I'm telling you, he's the greatest man who ever set foot on the face of the earth. Get a copy by Martin Lings, or get a copy by the Sealed Nectar, or get a copy by Sirat al-Mustafa, a 3-volume book. You'll get it from Zamzam Publications or anywhere else. Get a copy of the greatest man who set foot on the face of the earth. Get a copy of the Quran. Find out what your Creator wants you to know about your life on earth. Find out why are you on earth. Find out your meaning and purpose in life. Find out what are you supposed to do. Find out why is the injustice, and find out why a Muslim, or why humanity, why a human being has been sent as a Khalifatullah, as a vicegerent. Because a Muslim shows, or good people, not only Muslim, but good people in the world are those people when they're seeing injustice, because a time will come when evil will prevail in the world. When evil prevails in the world, then the entire world is in darkness. And when evil prevails in the world, the good people, they stand up. The Khilafatullah, the Khalifs of Allah, they stand up to say that no, what is happening is wrong. And good prevails over falsehood. And the Quran gives us an absolute guarantee that eventually evil will fall and falsehood will... Truth comes. When the truth comes, it takes falsehood and it throws and smashes it against the wall. Falsehood will crumble, truth will prevail, and good prevails over evil. That is an absolute guarantee. Stay tuned. Join me in next episode, which is episode number 8, as we're continuing in this book, Islam in the Media. Stay well, look after yourself. Alhamdulillah.